Animals have been endowed by nature with body parts that allow them to survive, eat, and generally look good. However, sometimes these same body parts can cause so much damage to an animal that it can easily die. You will understand everything if you watch this video until the end. Furthermore, one of the strangest creatures that exists on our planet is the Babirusa. She looks like a pig in appearance, but she is not like other pigs. Its snout is small, its back is arched, its paws are quite long and its coat is very thin. There is almost no fur on its entire body. Although these animals prefer to drink clean water and eat vegetables, the main characteristic of Babirusas is their tusks. That's right for males. The upper and lower tusks grow toward the head throughout life. Every now and then, the prey grows so large that it literally begins to grow into the skull. Consider your tooth curved upwards over your forehead. It's dangerous and not pleasant at all. These deer pigs don't like it either. In addition to having a strange shape, these fangs seem to block vision and usually break before the skull, during the fight for a female, for example, or over time, if the animal is lucky. Reindeer are much more complex than deer pigs. Its horn is so powerful that it can attack other animals. This is a real weapon that can kill its own owner. Male reindeer fight among themselves during mating season. They fight for women and these fights usually end with one opponent dying. Most of the time, he simply bumps into each other's horns, and during the fight, unlucky males can also get their horns tangled so tightly that they are unable to escape on their own. Everything ends in the most tragic way possible. The reindeer die slowly because they are unable to get up or quench their thirst. Nature is cruel, and if this occurs near a body of water, the reindeer could fall through the ice and freeze together forever. But sometimes animals get lucky and humans quickly realize what's going on. Just cut off some ends or throw the, "Wow, man, it looks like you knew what you were doing, but it's true you messed up, but that doesn't matter." Everything ended well. But for our gollies, these bighorn sheep are considered the largest and can weigh more than 100 kilograms. Furthermore, they generally look very threatening, especially for their large and powerful corkscrew-shaped horns. These horns are used by our gollies to protect themselves from predators and fight for females. But despite their majestic appearance, the fate of these bighorn sheep is occasionally tragic. The horn should be a powerful weapon of self-defense, but it can kill the animal slowly and painfully. The older he gets, the more likely it is that his horns will begin to grow incorrectly and pierce the ram's face at the end. 30 and very painful, they infiltrate deeper and deeper until they cause death by infection or well. As you know, evolution is often relentless. This trick with the poor bighorn sheep's horns does not deserve our gratitude. However, human intervention does not always result in positive results. Over the centuries, people developed additional breeds that excelled in agriculture, but the results were contradictory. Especially when it comes to sheep, the fur of wild species decreases every year. The same applies to some domestic sheep, but those that are raised for their wool have a coat that grows constantly throughout the year and, if not sheared in time, can end up very badly. In very hot climates, a long coat is not a good choice and can sometimes cause heat stress. Mobility is also an issue. A long-haired sheep cannot steer itself away from a steep slope, like insects that stand on their feet in the air. Wool also harms sheep's vision. My worries are enough. Excessive uncut hair begins to shed and forms into matted balls. Each parasite loves to get under these hairs. These sheep cause a horrible itch that bothers the sheep and causes them to constantly rub against trees, fences, and almost anything they come across. In this case, the animal can shave itself until it bleeds, which quickly causes inflammation and blood contamination. Sheep with very long hair can even die in extreme situations. Sheep usually need the sheep user. The fact that donkeys need manicures is also an absurd truth for you. I'm not joking. Most donkeys need their hooves trimmed regularly, just like horses. The average is 6 to 10 weeks. You were precise. This process is also carried out in horses. This is necessary because, if this is not done, animals lose their ability to step on the ground straight, which makes them uncomfortable and vulnerable. And a surprise for anyone who observes the folded hooves. Due to the fact that this is a very scary sight. Also, how will wild donkeys handle it? However, the hooves are less important than the number of wild burrows that remain. Being a hoofed animal is extremely difficult because nature is always trying to throw deadly challenges at you. Even the closest locations can become dangerous when this happens, and I honestly don't understand how deer can survive on the ice and away from the shore. If people don't come to help him, the animal will be doomed. Your grandmother. Furthermore, nature treats us more kindly. It is not difficult for us to maintain balance on very slippery surfaces. Furthermore, we develop skates, hoverboards, boats and other useful products. They are capable of freeing any living being from a trap. The animals don't thank them, it's unfortunate. But while the lives of deer, sheep and other hoofed animals seem to be very unlucky, nature must have given these animals some kind of bonus. Turtles are a good example of this. They should feel good in all aspects, including a long lifespan, lack of stress, and a strong shell that protects them from predators. Yes, I thought so too until I discovered that turtles have a factory defect that prevents them from turning over if they are left upside down. If you're about to write a comment about how your pet turtle explained fish to me, be aware that I'm talking about big turtles, and it's not a coincidence. A turtle's ability to turn over is influenced by its height, length, and even shell shape. For example, turtles with rounded shells turn faster than their flatter brethren. On the other hand, larger turtles are much less agile than smaller turtles. The characteristics of the hoof are literally essential to the animal's life. A defenseless turtle can die from sun exposure, starvation, or prey to predators if it accidentally turns over. This is especially true for turtles. After all, your hard armor doesn't move with your body, which makes it harder to untap. Their lives are like a constant game of life and death. Although larger specimens have better living conditions, they are also prone to falling into this deadly trap when they reach a considerable size. Males face this turning point issue with more difficulty. They often fight and try to knock their opponent onto their back when fighting for a female. The impression is that large specimens have a clear advantage. Once a sizable turtle loses, it will never come back. Sloths are hardly considered well adapted to life. Because yes, they are not as fast as you think. Sloths spend most of their lives in trees, almost always remaining there and melting into the leaves. They drop to urinate once a week. Furthermore, they sleep around 20 hours a day, which means they behave as if they were people during their long-awaited vacation. But delay and kindness can cost you your life, and any hungry predator can be a danger. No, even if he takes a lot, the slow animal cannot escape. Even a wood owl, as small as a sloth, can do this. She's just faster, stronger and also leaner. Thus, we conclude our expedition through the animal kingdom, observing the fascinating adaptations and obstacles of the different species. From the curious deer pigs to the majestic turtles, every animal in this vast natural habitat has its own survival experiences. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the animal world as much as I did. Don't forget to leave your comments and suggestions for future videos. Until the next adventure.